About a year ago, I did a video about the Santa Rosa County Sheriff who said he preferred homeowners shoot intruders to save taxpayers the money.
And you went on to say, you praised Ron DeSantis. You said you will shoot better if you take one of our safety gun courses and maybe save taxpayers money.
And I'll tell you right now, you know, somebody breaks in your house in Santa Rosa County and you shoot and kill them, the chances of them reoffending after that are zero, and we like those odds.
Now, of course, there were scores of people who were like, oh my gosh, and clutching their pearls and saying, how could you say something like that as a sheriff? And I'm like, how could no other sheriffs be saying the same thing if their job and duty is to protect people or empower them to protect themselves? I think more sheriffs should have this attitude as far as I'm concerned. But we do live in a time where people like to politicize absolutely everything, including our police officers. And thus you have a swath of sheriffs who actually play politics instead of protect the people. Anybody want to take a guess though? What happened after the sheriff said what he said? I'll let him tell you what happened.
Since that press conference, we haven't had any home invasions, and it's been over a year, so it's kind of odd.
I don't know why people like to overcomplicate the crime issue in this country. It's not that hard. Have a well-trained police force who doesn't play politics and empower the citizens to take their self-defense into their own hands so that there is a symbiotic relationship between the people and the police, and then the crime will plummet. It's really honestly that simple. The police should be helping the people empower themselves to defend themselves because they understand the reality of their job. They can't get everywhere all the time in time. And because of this, if you're being rational with yourself, if you're being honest with yourself as a police officer, you would realize the people are gonna have to take their safety into their own hands, much like this sheriff has done and has spoken on and has said. But yet here we are, because once you decide to come into my house, all bets are off. You don't get the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure I live to see tomorrow. Can you imagine how fast crime would drop, not only in Santa Rosa County, but in the entire country, if all the sheriffs took this approach to policing?
I said, you know, if you shoot accurately and you kill the guy, you know, you save taxpayers money. And I also said that, you know, if somebody gets killed during a home invasion, the odds of them reoffending are zero, and we like those odds, which we do. And in Santa Rosa County, we have a very high percentage of the population that have weapons, and I promote the use of them if you're in your house and somebody kicks your door in, because they're not coming in to give you a hug or to give you cookies. They're coming in to commit felonies. That's why they kick in the door and come in your house.
Forget the sheriffs. Imagine if the federal government took this approach to someone breaking into your home.
If you're in your own home and there's somebody breaks in your home and is trying to commit a crime against you, you don't have to retreat. You don't have to give them warning. You don't have to go barricade yourself in a room. You can shoot and kill them. And in the state of Florida, that's perfectly legal. And in these other states where they don't have that, people are afraid to own guns and they're afraid to protect themselves. That's why you have the crime rate that you have in New York and California. And you know, people think, well, if you pass a law and we take the guns away from, you know, people who haven't broken a law, well, that's the one law that criminals will obey. They'll say, well, oh, I can't have a gun. Well, yeah, I'll obey that law, but none of the others. And it's ludicrous. I mean, criminals are criminals.
Let's make criminals afraid again, because right now in major cities across the country, criminals are not only not afraid, they're emboldened because of gun control laws that make it harder for the citizens to defend themselves and policies that make it harder to punish criminals. Like, why are we doing this? And it's weird to me because it's always coming from one side of the aisle. And I know I hate playing politics, and I just decried the idea of police and everybody else playing politics and politicizing everything, but I can't unsee and unknow what I know and what I've seen. Because at the end of the day, the only political party that pushes these types of gun control laws are the Democrats. It's almost like they hate the American people and will do anything and everything in their power to make sure that the American people have to rely on them. Because when you tell people that they can't have guns to protect themselves or make it extremely hard for them to get firearms to protect themselves, considering it's the most effective tool that the people have to defend themselves, what you're essentially saying is, we don't care about your safety. So if we can't keep you safe, no one will be able to keep you safe, not even yourself. And we're gonna do everything in our power to make sure you can't protect yourself, because the only person you should be depending on is us. And then look at the state of things around you with respect to those people in leadership positions. Look at the state of your community. Do you really want to put your faith in your hands and those people that have been in power in these places for so long now, and these places are getting worse and worse and worse? Come on, be real with yourself. But yet you'll let these people come in and trick you out of a vote and have you voting for stupid policies because they make you feel good, or you're simply just not paying attention. But either way, you're doing it to yourselves, and you have to live with the consequences of giving up those things, because in this world, you don't get rights back once you give them away. And really what I should be saying is you don't get power back once you give it away. Take a look around you. Take a look at all the countries around you. Whenever they have issues with their government and they have to fight back to some extent, they have no means to do it. All they can do is yell, scream, wave umbrellas, and throw stuff. But there's something unique, there's something special about living in this country where the people have the power to make the government stop in their tracks and think, you know what? Yeah, technically we have a lot of power, we have a lot of resources, but if we push these people too far, it's going to get ugly. That is the power you have as an American in this country. And that power is vested in the Second Amendment. That's why the Second Amendment was written. No, we haven't gone too far now, or we haven't come so far now where none of these things matter anymore. Power doesn't have an age. You can't evolve past power. At the end of the day, I don't care if it's 2024 or 3072, there's going to be an entity in a group called the government that's only goal is to seek power. And it is your job in this country to make sure that that power is not accumulated to the point where you can't fight back against it and protect yourself, this country, and everybody else in it. So when I see officers and I see sheriffs get in front of the TV, get online and get in front of the camera and say things like this.
We have a gun safety class we put on every other Saturday. And if you take that, you'll shoot a lot better, and hopefully you'll save the taxpayers money.
I have to applaud it because we don't hear it often enough. And we don't champion and we don't celebrate sheriffs like this enough. Instead, what we let them do is we let the other side trick us off our path and call them all types of things like, oh, they're racist, oh, they're doing this, I don't care. I don't care, because if their solution as far as whether or not you can keep yourself safe means, hey, my Second Amendment rights stay intact, and therefore I don't have to depend on anybody else to keep me safe, call them what you want. But they are doing things and they are espousing the things that allow me to keep me and my family safe. You can tell me all the nice words that you want to tell me all day long, but if those nice words don't come with anything that allows me to actually protect myself, your words mean nothing. These are the AKT1 Blackout Wireless In-Ear Hearing Protection with Bluetooth. I like to call them the AirPods for shooters. I say for shooters because AirPods don't protect your hearing, but these do. They are hands down my favorite in-ear hearing protection that I've ever used, and I mean ever. They have an NR 25 dB auto noise blocking. They can enhance your hearing by 6 times. They have advanced noise cancellation, Bluetooth connectivity with high fidelity speakers so you can take phone calls and listen to music. They have a battery life of 10 hours with an additional 30 hours in a charging case, and they're low profile and stylish enough to fit in not only at the gun range, but in your gym, while you're studying, working, at school, at home, you name it. I'm in love with these things, and now they're finally available on my store at shop.mrcolionnoir.com, or you can just click the link in the description section of this video. And don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think the sheriff's rhetoric will increase or decrease home invasions going forward? And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, push the bell symbol, and select all, and share this video with your mama, your daddy, your group chat, your girlfriend, boyfriend, your wife or husband, your sneaky link, and that weird ass cousin you don't really like because they're anti-2A.